YouTube. All right. So obviously, we are going to be having the second phase of the 1.0 patch of Zenless Zone Zero coming out at the time of this recording, being the 19th, should be coming out the Wednesday or 2 days from now as this video gets uploaded with Zhu Yuan's banner. And she is going to be an ether type damage dealer. She's going to be ranged because she's going to be using a gun. She is going to be doing some lovely kicks. So as we can see here, we got a little bit of her kit, but we're not necessarily going to really do a deep dive into her kit. We're mainly just going to be discussing whether or not she is going to be your ideal unit to be polling for, or if you should be saving for the 1.1 banners that are going to be coming out most likely sometime in August, near the beginning or the middle of August, with these units. And the main, I would say, headliner of the 1.1 patch being Jane Doe. I'm very excited for her, but whether or not Zhu Yuan is going to be your ideal unit. Now, something to keep in mind is that, we still have Ellen. And Ellen is a freaking giga monster beast. But, a lot of people are a little hesitant to be pulling for her, and that's fine. Because they want to save for other units or whatever. So, currently at the moment, this is the lineup we have, minus, ignore the 1.1 characters. We do have Zhu Yuan here, and we can do a little bit of a better look at her. So whether or not you should be pulling for her honestly depends on, I would say, two real main factors. The first factor is, are you able to clear all pieces of content at this given moment? Do you have two teams built? I know for a majority of players who pulled for Ellen, they have her, they have Sokaku, and they have Lycone. And honestly, that is one team. You have another very, very powerful team in the fire team with Soldier 11, with Coletta. And, you could have Ben on there or Lucy. It just really depends on who you want to be using. Now, Zhu Yuan, with her release, she doesn't have her best team at this given moment, unfortunately. That is going to be coming with the conclusion of 1.1 with Seth and QE as they come out, because they are all of the same faction. And as you know, every unit on the same faction, they boost and benefit each other. And because of that, Zhu Yuan is going to be able to get her full damage output capability in, and that she likes to do as much, static damage as she can to reduce the enemy's toughness so that they are just lowered. Honestly, and then the second major point is how much you're willing to spend on the game, truthfully, because a lot of people played through, they did a bunch of their free-to-play polls, and they either got Ellen or they lost their 50-50, and then they went to the second one, they got Ellen, whether they lost their 50-50 or they lost 50-50 to somebody. And then obviously the standard poll, which I'd be making a separate video on who the ideal first standard poll guaranteed unit you should be getting at the 300 mark. But the TLDR with Zhu Yuan is, I would honestly wait until we see more kit regarding Jane Doe and QE. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Jane Doe, QE, and Zhu Yuan, that's actually probably the second best, if not the best team. Obviously, Zhu Yuan is going to be doing ether damage. QG, I keep pronouncing it wrong, but oh well. She does shock damage, and we don't know anything about Jane Doe. Apparently, she might be just doing physical damage, but that's fine. That's going to be a very strong team. If you do want to go for that setup, I would say then go for it. But at this given moment, you have the benefit to hold out and wait, because, we do know that the second phase is coming out on the 24th, as I previously mentioned. And Apparently it's going to be going until August 13th, which that is when the 1.1 banner is going to be coming out. So you're going to have plenty of time to save your polychromes in order to, decide whether or not you want to pull for her, see a bunch of, videos about her. Do that. I do plan on pulling for her because I do want to run that like police team as like a secondary team compared to my Elle and Joe team, and that I want to run probably to 1.1. I'm thinking you also have to keep in mind that when a new character is coming out, they want to cater the content towards her. I mean, it's Hoyoverse we're talking about, so you need to be looking at Genshin Impact, you need to be looking at Honkai Star Rail, and they do that all the time with those two games, is that when a new character gets released, a bunch of the content is going to be geared around her. Now, I do think long-term wise, she is going to be better future-proof than Ellen, honestly. With Ellen, being the first limited character, her significance is going to start being power crept. I would say about 1.3 is when we're going to really see that come in, and she's going to start declining. But honestly, for Zhu Yuan, I would say hold out, wait a little bit, save your free-to-play pulls until you see some gameplay, and then, kit-wise, decide then if you really want to get her.